Peter Racer here, Anzac Day Precinct at Mount Coot-tha YouTube channel. And what an incredible April 2024 this has been, celebrating 100 years since the Cross of Sacrifice and the Stone of Remembrance was unveiled at the Toowong Cemetery, the first truly national memorial of its type in Australia. And that place is now known as Canon Garland Place. Also documented is the Anzac Day speech that the Governor-General delivered, with a special reference to the Rats of Tobruk, which I know the descendants of the Rats of Tobruk will find fascinating. And it should not go without mention that on the 20th of April, the Governor-Generals had written a special letter which was read out to a small select crowd at Canon Garland Place. Lastly, what you're going to see is a summation through the eyes of Councillor Penny Wolfe, as she also participated at the Governor-General's visit as the representative of the Lord Mayor, then in her own right on Anzac Day as councillor for Walter Taylor. And she's delivered her summation from the newly completed National Defence Chaplains Memorial Grove, which is a great achievement for Anzac Park and will be a great achievement for the Anzac Day precinct that is underway and in development at Mount Coot-tha. Enjoy.
On Anzac Day, we acknowledge those who have chosen to serve in our name and follow in the steps of our Anzac forebears. We acknowledge that they and their families disproportionately bear the cost of maintaining our freedoms and way of life. We honour them and give thanks. We remember and reflect. A beloved friend of Linda and mine passed away in 2008. Alec Hill was my military history lecturer at Duntroon. He was a veteran of the Second World War. A Rat of Tobruk, Alec also fought at our Alamein and later in the Pacific. He knew combat and he knew Australian soldiers. I went to him for advice on many occasions. Before my first visit to Glimley, I asked Alec how I should approach the visit. His advice was quite simple. Go stand in the water at Anzac Cove.
Also on the 25th of April 2024, the Courier Mail published a letter that I written. They titled it up, How the Day Was Made, and added a picture of significance into the letter to the editor that had a central prominence. I believe that it's quite a good read, and I hope that you enjoy it, as it's all about how the milestone of the unveiling of the Cross of Sacrifice and the Stone of Remembrance was so much more to Canon Garland and the Anzac Day Committee in 1924, having flow-on effects into the location of Anzac Square in the CBD, and how it was used to roll out a uniform and unified Anzac Day celebration in New Zealand and Australia.
Today is special for another reason. It is the centenary of the first Anzac service conducted in Australia in the format we know today. Canon David Garland, an Anglican priest, had witnessed the Anzacs at war in Western Europe. He understood the legacy that they were creating and tried to capture it at that first service at Toowong Cemetery in Brisbane. Poignantly, that service ended with the familiar words, lest we forget. Lest we forget Canon Garland and his inspired vision for remembrance that honours the loved ones we have lost. Lest we forget our nation's modern roots and how they can help us as a country today. Lest we forget the sacrifice and pain of so many in uniform and at home in our country's history. lest we forget.
I'm delighted that Council has completed works here at the National Defence Chaplains Memorial Grove in Anzac Park. This memorial grove honours the Australian Defence Force chaplains and their dedication and selfless commitment in serving Australia's service personnel and their families during times of peace and conflict, and it's commemorated here in this location. I'd firstly like to pay thanks to Peter Collins, the convener of Stone and Remembrance, and he is on the Centenary Committee, and this year was wonderful because it marked the centenary of the official unveiling of Australia's first national Anzac memorial. Early in April, it was wonderful to attend with His Excellency Governor-General, the Honourable David John Hurley, and Her Excellency Mrs. Linda Hurley, and we attended this centenary celebration of the Stone of Remembrance. It was really heartfelt, and a huge contribution was made during this time to recall the stories, with thanks to Toowong RSL sub-branch for all their organising for the Stone of Remembrance. So Anzac Day for 2024 in Walter Taylor Ward, I witnessed so many communities coming together, and as a community we honoured the courage, the sacrifice and the legacy that is Anzac Day.